Q's with the buttes. Q's with the buttes. Q's with the buttes. I said it'd be a rap, but it's not really a rap. This is terrible. Terrible intro. Fred's gonna hate it.
That's what I hear in my sleep paralysis. I was kind of scared. Spooky season is over. It's the season of giving, Jesse. Come on now.
I mean, I just gave you
giving me nightmares.
Almost gold. I'll continue. I'll work on it. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, as am I in life. But we got some good questions again this week. Let's just dive right in, right? Brandon H. Alexis. He would like to know, was Kirill's hair slowing him down? With the lettuce gone, has he become more aerodynamic? And obviously referring to Kirill getting that first goal finally after 8 games, or in game 8 rather. Alexis, what are your thoughts?
Well, I feel like this is kind of like where you go through a breakup and you want to like cut your hair and dye your hair, right? And you're like, I'm over it. Like, I need a change in my life. And then like the minute you do something to your hair, you start to thrive again. I think that's what Kirill is going through, where he was like, I'm not scoring. I need to do something. So he cut off his hair, which I was sad about because he had some great flow going on, cuts his hair and scores a goal. So I'm like, maybe he was just going through it. We've all been there, ladies. I know, we've all been there.
Why do you think I had brown? Actually, I didn't go through a breakup at all. I was married, happily married, just whatever.
Mike is listening to this. He's like, what? The divorce papers are in the mail.
They're in the mail.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was. I think he just needed a change of pace, a little change of scenery on his head, and that got the scoring started. Hopefully, though, once his hair grows back, he keeps scoring goals, because I like the lettuce on Kaprizov. I think it's a good look. Those golden locks. It's just, I mean, it's a great hockey player hair look. So hopefully he keeps scoring with or without.
As a little child with a great flow already, that I'm continuing to condition, like, you got to keep the flow, bring the flow back. But I love the question. So what else we got?
Question 2 from Dan S. He said, for the next podcast or mailbag, could you talk about any thoughts or concerns with Talbot? Here we go, Jesse, and his underlying numbers. They are winning, so the record is great, but is there any concern in the small sample size regarding his numbers being below career average, or even what he did a year ago? Not hitting the panic button, but is that something to keep an eye on? Jesse, air out the beef.
No, we teased it in this week's episode, if you haven't gotten to listen to that, because we had posed the question, who is the early season MVP? And Alexis selected Cam Talbot of the 3 options of Marcus Lino, Nico Storm, and Cam Talbot. And I said Mum, because I wanted to save it for this question.
She's like, I'll just let Alexis look dumb and I'll cover this in cues.
No, I mean, I came in again very hesitant with Cam, right? Knowing he's going to carry this load, knowing that he's going to be the 1A and just have to be completely shut down. And knowing that last year might have been a little bit of an anomaly for him. I don't know. I'm still haven't seen, again, it's a very small sample size, as Dan had mentioned, right? And I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm not like, oh no, we've got a Devin Dubnyk on our hands or whatever. Sorry, Devin.
Take a shot every time we say we're not hitting the panic button, when we like low-key are kind of hitting the panic button.
But I mean, I haven't seen, it's not like it's been that bad, but it really hasn't been that good, right? And like you had mentioned in the episode, right? Sure, 1 goal games, it is important, and the goalie needs to stand on his head. But he's letting in the goals that are very Devin Dubnyk like to me, and the ones that are just, and sometimes he's been left out to dry. So I mean, I don't want to completely say every loss is Cam's fault or every goal is, but it just hasn't been that impressive. It hasn't been, I haven't been all like, yep, I know Cam can pull this out, right? I mean, because when he does it tends to surprise me. So I there's a little bit of concern there, because I also don't think that Capo is ready to take on anymore until he gets that first win. He needs to get the confidence. So he definitely needs to get more time in. It'll be interesting to see. We're recording this on Friday. There's a back-to-back this weekend. Curious to see what they do, especially with travel from Pittsburgh back to Minnesota. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with Dan. It's not panicking, but it's a little concerning. Alexis, any additional thoughts?
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because even like the Ottawa Senators game, I remember they threw like the starting goalie stats up on the screen, before the game starts, like they always do. And Gustafsson was the net for the Senators, and it was Talbot in net for the Wild.
Complete rookie goaltender, by the way.
Yes. And they showed the stats, and I'm like looking at them, and I'm like, Talbot's stats like aren't that good. It's like, I was like thinking like, how have we gotten this many wins with like these stats that we're looking at here? And not that they were like terrible. I wasn't like, holy cow, like he's got 5 goals against. Like it wasn't like that, but it was a little bit above like my level of comfort for, what I would look at and say, I'm okay with those stats. Like it was a little bit where I was a little like concerned about looking at those numbers, especially in comparison to a young goalie on a team who's not that great, and just seeing the comparison there. And they hadn't played the same amount of games, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy there, but it did make me wonder a little bit. And like I said in the episode, it's, yes, you're getting wins. And this is just like when the Wild were getting all these comeback wins before they lost their first game of the season. It's like, yeah, you're getting the win. So I'm not going to like sit here and complain too much, but how long can you actually keep up that pace? Yeah. And especially with Talbot getting up there in age a little bit for a goalie in the NHL, it is a little bit concerning when you think about like, okay, sure. Yeah. If he can keep doing this, fine, keep doing it. But can he keep doing it is the question. So you just hope that things tighten up a little bit. We've said it like literally 1,000,001 times, but it's the beginning of the season. So there's still, players and teams are still tweaking things out to figure out what's working for them. But like Jesse said, if Talbot ends up falling off the wagon at some point this season, the Wild are kind of screwed. I'm not going to lie. Screwed. I mean, unless Capo comes out of nowhere and shows us the version of himself that he showed early on in last season, if he can't do that and Talbot starts to not play well and starts to hit that other side of like, he's not playing great and he's not getting wins, I don't know what the Wild are going to do at that point. Right. But we're not hitting the panic button yet.
Not anything. I mean, through 8 games, I will say, I just pulled it up. 2.72 goals against average, 0.9 save percentage, no shutouts. Like it just, it's just not impressive. Like to me, it's not bad. It's not good. It's just very meh, which you can't have a 1A goaltender be meh, in my opinion, when you, especially when you are really nervous about your backup at this point. So that's my only, and again, no shade on Cam. He's fine. He's old, whatever. But it's all good. We'll figure it out. Let's move on. I shut my mouth. He's never going to talk to me again. Final 2 questions actually come from our buddy Adam C. First one, what do you think of Amanda Leveille? Is it Leveille? Levier. Amanda Levier's Lev. That's okay. Yeah. What do you think of Lev's new goalie pads, which I did just see on Twitter this morning? So freaking sick, Alexis. So sick.
Yeah. So Amanda Levier is probably one of my favorite players, and I've said this a lot. I have a soft spot for goalies. I always have, ever since I was a kid. So we
should say she's the Minnesota Whitecaps goaltender for
Minnesota
those
Whitecaps
unaware.
Goaltender.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Which the season women's hockey season starts this weekend. Super exciting. But yeah, so I have a soft spot for goaltenders, so it doesn't take much to get into my good graces as a goalie. But I especially have loved Amanda Levier since first starting to get involved with the Whitecaps and all of that. And the reason that I'm very excited about her pads is because Levier is like one of the most acrobatic goalies that I have ever seen in my life. Like she is constantly flying all over the place. Like, and she doesn't make it look sloppy either. Like some goalies, when they're kind of flying around, it just looks chaotic. And like, they're like, oh my God, like, are they doing this like planned, or is this just like them panicking? Yeah. Lev makes it look controlled. She makes it look cool. She's doing like, it looks like she's a gymnast out there in the crease. So I'm excited because cool pads means, and a goalie who flashes it a lot means that we are going to see a lot of those pads flying around in the crease as she makes some cool saves this season, hopefully. So yeah, I am fully on board with Lev's new pads.
If you haven't seen them, go to Whitecaps Twitter and check them out. They are. I mean, there's something about that royal blue and the black too that's already going to look amazing. And then Adam's next question, because we're going to talk a little PHF here. Which team will Alexis use the broadcaster jinx on first?
First of all, for those who don't know what the broadcaster jinx is, it's basically where a broadcaster says something and then the opposite thing happens in the game that you're broadcasting, which I am like notorious for. Like people know, like I literally don't shut up when I talk, and I'm like that on broadcast too. Like I'll get into something and I'm just talking, and literally, because I don't shut up, before I even get to the end of my thought, the team is already doing the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm like, now I just look dumb. Like now I don't know. Now I look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, this goalie's been incredible. Boom, they get scored on. I'll be like, yeah, this player's been kind of snake bitten. Boom, they score a goal. It's just like it's
not good.
It's not good. So I apologize to teams who I've done bad things to by giving them the broadcaster jinx. That's my bad, my fault. I take accountability for that. Who will I give the broadcaster jinx to first? Probably whatever matchup I end up on for the first game of the PHF season. Probably. I'm sure I'll do it in game 1. So yeah, apologies in advance to that.
There you go. Well, another great week of questions. Thank you for all submitting. Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to go check out this week's episode. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, rate, all that good stuff. I'll work on my wrap for next week. So get some good questions in, and I will come in with a far better wrap. That's going to do it. Have a good day, guys. Bye.